I'm Keith Martin, publisher of Sports Car Market magazine. We're here at a silver auction in Portland, Oregon, and we're going to take a look at a 1963 Corvette convertible. And what I'm going to do in the next couple of minutes is walk around the car and examine it the same way I would as if I were writing up an auction report for our magazine, Sports Car Market magazine. So the first thing is I look at this car. It has a card on the windshield, which every car at every auction has a card like that. We call it the car card. And on that card, it will generally have the VIN number of the car, the year, the make, the model, and some notes from the seller. Well, this car says it's a 1963 Corvette Roadster. It says it's a barn find. Now, if you look at the car, the first thing you notice is that it's missing its front bumpers. If I go across the nose of the car here, it's been repainted, and it's a pretty shiny color, probably not an original Corvette color. There are some stone chips here that have been filled in, which is not a bad thing. It means the car has been driven. And there's a value to a car that's been driven as you can get a few more rock chips on it, nobody cares. If you have a 100% perfect show car, you get what I call rock chip paranoia. The slightest little scratch or ding will make you crazy. Here, the gaps are not particularly good, although for Corvettes they were never great. But in an ideal world, you would see all of this would be completely even. If we look closely at the paint here, and fluorescent light is a very good light to look at cars under because it reveals all the flaws. But you can see that there's some cracking and crazing in the paint. So it's an older paint job. The surface of the paint was not, the surface of the car was not prepped very well before the car was painted, and so the flaws are showing up. If we look inside the car, we can see it's a 4-speed car. The tach goes to 6,500, which may mean that this was born as a 340 horse car. I don't know what engine is in it now, and the car card doesn't tell us. I'm going to open the hood very quickly here. It's got aftermarket headers down here, of course aftermarket valve covers. Without looking at the VIN or the engine number and taking it all apart, I can't decode this to tell you if it's the original engine or not. But the engine bay is what I would call clean but not detailed. You see some overspray in places like this, where they didn't mask that off completely when the engine was, when the car was painted. This is a little loose here. Let me shut this hood. Corvettes are pretty simple cars. So unlike a Ferrari, where if the car needs a motor, it can be $25,000 or $30,000. You can buy a motor for the crate motor for this car for $4 or $5 grand. So what I see here is a car that probably your best bet is to buy it and just drive it as is and enjoy it. It's flashy red, will look good at a Corvette club meet. If you start to restore this car and make it perfect, you're going to have to strip all the paint off. You're going to have to redo the interior. I'd be willing to bet that the engine will need, may not be the original, let's put it that way, because most of the times cars that were, these Corvettes were bought by people who wanted to run them hard and they didn't care about matching numbers and things. So I think that I would recommend that someone buy this car because they want to have fun in the summer. Not because they're looking for a trophy winner, not because they're looking for numbers matching perfection, but because they've always wanted a Corvette. And really, there's nothing quite like the sound of the V8, the dual pipes, and then the feeling you get with the 4-speed when you're in first gear and you really give it some gas. 1963 Corvette convertible. I'm Keith Martin from the Silver Auction in Portland, Oregon.